In Wroclaw, there are numerous hotels, hostels and apartments available for rent. When choosing accommodation, we usually focus on price and location, but today I would like to highlight some other amenities worth considering. If you live in Wroclaw, this episode might be for you too, because surprisingly, we don't have to stay actually overnight in those places to visit them and appreciate their uniqueness. Before we start, please remember to subscribe. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Now, take a look at these interesting, unique places to stay in Wrocław. Herbal Hotel, located at Włodkowica 15-17th Street, is a beautifully restored 17th century monastic complex that originally belonged to the Franciscans and was later handed over to the Sisters of St. Elizabeth, who managed the building until 1945. The structure survived the war unscathed, but when it was later converted into a dormitory for University of Wrocław students and afterwards into municipal apartments, it gradually fell into disrepair and eventually into complete ruin. It wasn't until 2019 that the hotel was purchased by a private company, Castellum, which undertook a full restoration of the complex and reopened it in 2021 as a hotel and wine bar. The same company is also responsible for the restoration of the beautiful White Stork Synagogue, which I mentioned in my video What to See in Wrocław, Poland, Part 2. Link below. Castellum also carried out the renovation of our stunning main railway station, built in a palatial architectural style. Anyway, the rooms at the Herbal Hotel are absolutely stunning. With their high 4-meter ceilings, stylish furnishings and beautifully designed bathrooms, they really make an impression. The calm natural color palette helps guests relax, especially since the hotel, though located in the city center, sits in a quiet spot away from the street next to a lovely garden. Some of the rooms are made up of 3 combined monastic cells with original decorative plaques preserved above the doors. Each of these rooms is divided into a sleeping cell, a living cell and a bathing cell. An unexpected design when the bathroom actually takes up about 1/3 of the room's total space. There is no restaurant in the hotel, what for if there are plenty of good restaurants just around the corner, but for hotel guests there's a breakfast served in the former refectory, a large dining hall typical for medieval monasteries or night orders, now called Franciscan's Hall. It can also be rented for special family occasions, such as birthdays, or for company events, for up to 40 people with catering. It's also worth admiring the wooden staircase, carefully restored, as well as the exposed ceiling beams on the 3rd floor. The large doors you see today are just a decorative element. Originally, they led directly to St. Anthony of Padua's church, which still operates today, and it's part of the District of 4 denomination, with its main entrance located on St. Anthony Street. There's no parking on the hotel ground, but instead you can enjoy a beautiful garden filled with low shrubs and aromatic herbs. During the summer, the hotel often hosts intimate concerts, cultural events and wedding ceremonies in this garden. For one night in November 2025 at the Herbal Hotel, for 2 people with the regular option excluding breakfast, you currently pay approximately 440 Polish zlotych. In the building's 300 years old cellar, you'll find a wine bar offering not only original wines and selection for famous monastic vineyards, but also beer, snacks, pies and coffee. The wine bar opens at 3 p.m. and welcomes not just hotel guests, so for locals it's definitely a great spot to check out. Can you wake up to a view like this in the morning? Yes, you can! The hostel, located in a tenement house at Rynek 30, offers one of the most beautiful views in the city, overlooking our stunning town hall, whose official name is the Old Town Hall, although hardly anyone remembers that. The price for a room with such a view is 250 Polish zlotych per night during the week. The room accommodates up to 4 people, but you can book it for your exclusive use. For this room during the week, it's easy to find availability, but for weekends you'll need to book about 3 months in advance. There are also rooms facing the patio, which are definitely quieter, though without the spectacular view. The hostel offers double rooms as well as family rooms with shared family bathrooms located in the hallway. It's clean and pleasant throughout, and the location speaks for itself. The newly renovated bathrooms look very neat. On every floor you will find a kitchen available for guests, but the real highlight, the cherry on the top, is the historic hall, which serves as a common area and looks absolutely stunning. In person, it's even more impressive with beautifully preserved wooden details that are truly remarkable. The tenement house where the hostel is located dates back to the 14th century, and it's known as the Old Town Hall House because it once served as the seat of the city authorities before the castle moved into the newly built town hall. Its origins go back to 1345, when it belonged to the Dominican family. Over the centuries, the building passed through many hands, owned by various craftsmen and merchants, some of whom were also city council members. In the 12th century, up until 1945, it housed a German bank. Notam House, located on St. Matthew Street, offers accommodation on Cathedral Island, starting from 110 Polish zlotych per night for a single room without a bathroom, and 170 Polish zlotych per night for a room with a private bathroom. Breakfast can be added for 35 Polish zlotych. The guest house is run by nuns, the congregation of the School Sisters of Notre Dame, and half of the building is reserved exclusively for their use. I've already mentioned this place in my episode about cafes, as it's home to the charming St. Jadwiga's Cafe, which features a beautiful garden. I will leave the link to that episode below. The property offers a total of 100 beds. One big advantage and rarity in this area is the parking lot right next to the building, which is locked at night. Speaking of nights, there's something quite unusual. Since you are staying in a convent house, the entire facility is locked at 10 p.m, so guests must return before then, or they won't be able to get back in. The rooms are clean and located in a quiet area. Guests also have access to a shared kitchen and an elevator. In the underground area of this convent, you can visit the remains of the Piast Duke's castle from the 12th century. The underground tourist route is called the Piast Seal. It's a place full of history and definitely worth seeing on Cathedral Island. I'm currently working on an episode about Cathedral Island. If you're interested, subscribe to get a notification when it's released. Notam House is a unique place, definitely worth visiting, if not for overnight stay, then at least for a coffee, a slice of cake and a history lesson. Great Polonia, the Granary La Suite is a 5-star boutique hotel located in the city center, yet tucked away on Mielnicza Street 24. The property is housed in a beautifully restored 16th century granary, perfectly blending historic charm with modern design. The building was once in a total ruin. It burned almost completely in 1970, and as late as 2005, it still looked like that. Originally built in 1565, it served as the city granary used for storing grain. From 1796, it was incorporated into the Adjust brewery, where the malt was produced. It wasn't until 2005 that an international hotel management company purchased the building and began its transformation. Every room in the hotel is unique, differing in layout and design, and each one pays tribute to the site's history. You'll find motifs of barely and vintage photographs depicting brewers and beer lovers. For one night in November 2025, for 2 people with the regular option excluding breakfast, you currently pay approximately 540 Polish zloty. At the very top, there are 2-level suites under a glass roof. Though steel structure recreates the original shape of the granary's 3-story milled house roof. The brick vaulted cellars house the reception area, restaurant, bar, fitness center and spa. Some rooms also feature beautiful restored brick ceilings. A truly unique place full of elegance and historical charm. The Dominican room is another interesting place you can rent for the night. It's available only on Booking.com with excellent reviews. It's located right next to the Dominikańska Gallery at Dominikański Square, close to the Market Square. The room, featuring 2 double beds and a bathroom, is situated within the Dominican monastery and it's the only room in the complex available for rent. Breakfast is not included, but the property is pet-friendly. A night for 2 people on a weekend in early December 2025 costs just under 200 Polish zlotych, and for 4 people just under 240 Polish zlotych. The Dominicans arrived in Wrocław from Krakow in 1226. Since the medieval ages, the monastery located by St. Adalbert's Church in Wrocław has been one of the most important Dominican centers in Poland. In 1520, a studium with university rights were established there. In 1810, the monasteries in Prussian Silesia were dissolved and the Dominican monastery was also closed. The monastery buildings were initially used as a warehouse and at the beginning of the 20th century they were demolished. Only the Baroque refectory has survived to this day and is now often used for concerts. In 1951, the Dominicans returned to the monastery and have remained there ever since. The monastery itself is not open to visitors, only this one room is available for rent. The place is quite unusual but interesting and offers a great price and location. In Adalbert Church, you can now visit the Dominican crypts and treasury. Links to the details below. The Old Library is a beautifully restored villa located on Parkowa Street, just a short distance from Centennial Hall and the pergola. Built in 1892, the villa once belonged to chocolate manufacturer Oswald Puschel and served as his summer residence, located then still outside the city. I've already mentioned the history of this place in my episode Hidden Gems in Wrocław. You can find the link below. Today, it impresses with its elegance and often hosts special events, especially weddings held in the charming garden. It's also a great base for guests who prefer staying outside the city center and want to enjoy the surrounding greenery, like the pergola or Szczytnicki Park, which I mentioned in my episode about Wrocław Park. It's also close to the zoo and the Wrocław Multimedia Fountain. You'll find more information about all of those places on my channel. The rooms decorated in a deep bottle green tones number only 15, which ensure an intimate and peaceful stay. Many original features have been preserved in the building: wooden railings and the main entrance, interior wooden shutters, doors and the mosaic flooring. In the villa's beautiful tower, there is a shared space for guests. The Old Library also houses a restaurant open not only to hotel guests, but if you are visiting on a weekend, it's worth reserving a table in advance. The Old Library is a truly beautiful and charming place. And the last place I wanted to mention is the 5-star Altus Palace Hotel on Wierzbowa Street. You don't need to be a hotel guest to admire the truly stunning palace staircase with its ornate railings, marble columns and stucco walls. You can visit this beautiful restored place by stopping by the restaurant or the bar for delicious coffee. Altus Palace Hotel is located in the historic building of the former Lepsinger Palace and the adjacent townhouse that once belonged to Julius Gotlander. The hotel is right next to the beautiful Old Town Garden. You will find information about it in the episode about parks, the Wrocław Opera, the Puppet Theatre and the Saddleback Bastion. Ignaz Lepsinger was a wealthy banker of a Jewish origin. He must have been truly rich and well connected to be able to buy such an attractive plot of land in the city center close to the municipal promenade. He commissioned the design and construction of this palace from the well-known architect Karl Schmidt, who also designed the Wrocław Opera and the nearby Saddleback Bastion. The man had talent and property wasn't cheap. The palace was built in 1874 on the site of a former riding hall and carriage house, and at the time of its construction, it was considered the most tasteful and exclusive building in Wrocław. It didn't remain the Lepsinger family home for long. Later, it became an administrative seat. After 1945, it housed various offices, but the building gradually lost its former splendor. Remembering that this place once housed a riding hall, you'll notice small decorative accents near the doors that hint at its history. Old drawings found in the building inspired reproductions that now decorate many of the walls. You also find here a beautiful ballroom called Mirror Hall, a Rose Hall, a bar with a glass roof, a spa and a restaurant. The rooms are beautifully furnished in calm and muted tones. The unique telephones to call the reception are an interesting detail. Don't worry, they have buttons, not a lottery dial. By the way, who remember those? A room for two without breakfast in November 2025 will cost you over 700 Polish zloty. However, you can simply stop by for delicious coffee at the hotel bar on the first floor and enjoy the charm of this place. A cappuccino here costs 22 Polish zloty. Or you can visit the restaurant, which has been awarded a prestigious Michelin recommendation. Thank you for today. Check all other episodes. If you like them, please support my channel via buycoffee.to and see you in the next video.